How's that for a thumbnail? So, my thoughts on working on the weekend and management. So, working in investment banking is a unique experience that I like to describe as it's almost like we're financial surgeons. And when I say that, it's because just like in the medical world where things are very critical, small mistakes can very be very costly. The it's the same thing. The main difference here is that we bleed money, right? We bleed money, and the uh, the death here is that of profits, and in some cases businesses. So sometimes you can actually have a mistake shut down an entire business. It could be a very, very small mistake, simply putting a decimal in the wrong place and things like that. So it's a little bit crazy. So because there's so many millions and millions of dollars that are at risk, and because the markets move so quickly, things are very, very critical, similar once again to within the medical world, where you know it's very detail oriented. I mean, you give someone the wrong medication, they can die. You misdiagnose something, they can die, or gets more ill and things like that. So very, very tiny things can have massive and profound effects in this industry, and because of that, we are very, very extreme, and things are held with kid gloves, shall we say, and therein comes the weekend. I work a lot of weekends. I usually work remotely, like I've been working today, and it's not unusual. Uh, you know, I should say not unusual. It's not unheard of. That's a better term. To get a call at 3 in the morning. You know, after doing a 15-hour day or 16-hour day. I remember one environment where I was at, and what was it? We worked, I think, a normal. No, we started at 6 in the morning or something ridiculous like that, and then we worked up until 12 or after 12, and then I had to come back in really early. So one night there was like, I think we worked so long that it might have been an hour or two gap between when I ended and when I needed to come back. It was kind of like pointless. I spent so much time going home, sort of just to come back. So it was kind of really, really ridiculous. But anyway, that's the nature of the beast. We get paid very well. No complaints there at all whatsoever, and that's the price. You know, with with um, with any great reward, there comes great responsibility, and that is what we deal with. I mean, again, we go back into the medical world. Doctors, once they have uh, uh, gone beyond a certain point, because in the beginning it can be actually kind of tough. There's a lot of potential of income, right? Because they take on a lot of risk. They have a lot of skills and training, and that all costs money. And you need top people. You need competent doctors because the risks are very high. So you pay top dollars to get top people, because if you don't, people die and you get sued, right? Similar thing here. You need top people in this industry because you can't have incompetence. Incompetence can shut you down. So you need top people. You need to pay top dollars, and also your people are taking on big responsibilities and stress. And what's the incentive for people to take on something where there's a lot on your shoulders and all this pressure, and then you're not going to pay good money? So that's the way it works. With any kind of great reward, there's great responsibility, and that's what we deal with, and that's what it comes with. So sometimes it's a matter of being 24/7 on call. Any point in time, something can, again, very similar to medical situation, right? Any point in time, something can go wrong. It can have massive effects. You need to have an all hands on deck. Now, that's not a normal thing, but it's not an unheard of thing. And that's the world we deal with. As far as management, well, the thing is, when you start out, you make a mistake, it's just on you. You have a good relationship with your manager, you're good to go. But when you're the manager, buck stops with you. You mess up, it's very visible all the way to the top, and you actually have the ability to affect the entire firm, the bottom line, and it's pretty serious. So, while it's great, there's certain rewards of. I'm actually getting ready to go for a skate. I apologize. So while it may, but the company in terms of there's a lot of risk. You can cause the company a lot of damage, and therein lies a lot of responsibility and therefore stress that comes from being in that position. And also sometimes I think another advantage, differences between you know when I was in a more junior type situation versus now is when you're lower level in your career and you get stuck. You have a lot of resources. Your boss can tell you, certain things, um, and there's lots of senior people you can talk to. But when you get to a certain level and you have a big obstacle, it's not always feasible for you to sort of lean on someone, right? There's going to be times where no one has the answer. Again, you know, you want the reward, you need the responsibility. That's part of what I get paid for, is to be in a situation where, um, you know, I can't just ask my boss. I can't just ask someone who's senior because I'm the senior guy, um, and it may not be appropriate for me to pull from a certain resource in another team who might be able to figure it out, but that's not their responsibility, right? It's my responsibility, and that's tough because now you're dealing with an innovative type of scenario where you know you have to come up with something that doesn't exist. You have to extrapolate, you have to create a solution to something, whether it's from a business standpoint, or a technical standpoint, whatever it may be. And that's tough, man. It's kind of like, think about an artist who has or a writer who has a writer's block, right? You're building this thing. Whether you're designing something creatively, you're writing something, and you're just stuck. You can't just. There's no. It's not something that you could just reflect on your studies and recite some I don't know, some formulas, or no. It's something that you have to manufacture in your own brain. You need to create a solution to a problem, and if you don't, there are going to be some consequences that you don't want to deal with, and that's really, really frustrating. I mean, you know I don't know if it's something that you guys can understand unless you've been in the situation. But again, normally throughout most of my career, it's you talk to your boss, you talk to senior member on the team, um, or you can even do some research online, Google it or whatever it may be. But when you get to a certain point, those things no longer are feasible options for you because um, the solution doesn't exist, right? You're the one that needs to come up with it. So you just got to deal with it. And the battle is, I just don't know, right? But you need to figure it out. But I don't know how to do this. But you need to figure it out. I don't have a boss to ask. But they don't have a boss. But I mean, in terms of what you're trying to do, it's your job to solve this, not your boss's job. It's not appropriate for you to pull your boss down. You need to figure this out. And in fact, there are going to be cases where your boss is not going to have the answers. That's why they got you, right? So, and then again, there's no senior person. You're the person that knows the most about this, and you're stuck. What do you do when you're the person that knows the most about something and you're stuck? You just need to keep at it. Sometimes you need to step away from the problem, think outside the box. You need to take a break and come back to it, maybe work on something else and come back to it. But it's just, you can't give up. You can't get frustrated, right? You just got to keep at it, re-strategize, and come up with a solution. And then when you get your paycheck, um, you can smile and think to yourself, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. It was tough for sure. My brain felt like it was going to explode. And this could be something that could last days or weeks. Might not just be a 1 day thing, by the way. But and again, it's kind of a solo journey. It can be a solo journey. So no one even knows. They just see you like, oh, they may have perceptions about how difficult or not difficult your job is, not understanding the role. Meanwhile, you could be dealing with an absolutely frustrating type of scenario. And trust me, if you can tell, I'm speaking from experience. Anyway, with that being said, um, you guys have an awesome weekend. And until the next episode, bonjour, salut, adios, vegeht's. Das ist gut. How many languages did I just speak? That's your mission to figure that out. How many languages did I just use? All right, guys.